Hey everyone, my name is Rebecca. I work with Digital Creator North, and today I'm just gonna give you a quick recorded workshop of the ghost animation workshop that I did. Just in case you either missed the one that we ran here in Gathertown or the one that we ran at Out Loud in North Bay, or even if you did go to those workshops and you just want a little refresher. So this is for you. So let's get started. So if you see my camera dip out like that, it's because I'm running two screens right now, and anytime you click off, Gathertown turns off your camera, which is super nice if you go to another tab for a second. And you don't want to be seen staring blankly ahead. So before we begin, go to either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store and download this free app. It's called FlipaClip. So you can just pause me, go there, do that, and then come back. I'll be waiting. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that, that you paused and you came back. So welcome back, happy to have you here. So just to start, apologies that some of the presentation is cut off around the ends. I'll be sure to post this slideshow in case you want to read the full text. But in any case, I thought it would be really helpful, since we're making a video, to go over what even is a video. So a video is actually made up of a bunch of still images, and then when you add them all together in a row and flip through them really quickly, that is how you get a moving video. So that's why if you're watching a YouTube video or you're watching a movie and you pause it, and then you play and then you pause, it sort of moves in stills like that. But yeah, each still is called a frame, and when you put them together, it looks like something is moving. And animation is just when you draw each of those frames. So the first motion picture, a little art history for you. The first motion picture ever made was called The Horse in Motion, and it was created in 1878, which is a very long time ago. And what it was a bunch of still images of a horse in the process of galloping, and then put all together in a fun little carousel that went around and around, and you were just looking at through one little hole. What you would see is this GIF right here of a horse galloping. And something that is super cool is if you look in the lower left-hand corner, the artist has actually labeled each separate frame kind of in order. So you can see that in total it has 16 frames. And if you pause, you can see which one it is, which I thought was very cool. So I'm not going to play this video right now, but if you want to go back and watch the video that I've attached here, you can go do that through the slideshow that I will attach somewhere in Gathertown. So, a flipbook animation. That's sort of like a physical copy of what we're going to be doing today. Have you made a flipbook? I know that I did when I was in around 5th grade. It was like the most exciting day ever. So what you do is you can take either a stack of paper or a little book of sticky notes, and you sort of draw each frame and you move from backwards to from the back to the front. And then when you kind of flip through it, you can see each frame that you change a little bit as you go along moves for you. So if you don't want to use the app, then you can go ahead and get a little book of sticky notes, get I recommend a pencil, that way you can kind of erase as you go along. But in any case, I thought that it would be helpful to go through some of the principles of animation, because in order to animate something, and in order to make it appear that it's actually moving, then you have to pay attention to how things move when they move through the air, like a ball bouncing, for example. We have on the left-hand side here all of the stills that would go into an animation of a ball bouncing. And you can see it starts up here as being round, and then as it moves towards the ground here, it actually kind of stretches vertically towards the ground because gravity is pulling it down. And then when it hits the ground, again because of gravity, it squishes down because of the impact. And then when it goes to bounce back up, it stretches back up, and then it kind of repeats the process as it bounces. And then what we can see here on the right-hand side is what that would look like if it were made into a video. So here's what a ball would look like, a little animation here. So the ghost prompt is just a prompt, and you don't have to create a ghost. You can really do whatever you want. When I ran the workshop, some people animated pumpkins or whatever you want. You can even, as someone did when I ran the workshop previously, you can animate a ball here if you want to start there. I think that that's a really great and really fun way to start animating. So we just went over the anatomy of a ball, pretty much. And now, since we're going to be animating a ghost, if you would like, I think it would be a really good idea to kind of think about how a ghost moves. So a cartoon ghost, because we can't see real ghosts, of course, moves like something covered in a sheet. So go ahead and, if you're home, go find a blanket or a pillowcase or even a sweater, and move it around in the air to sort of see how it moves. Because I've got my little sweater here. As you can see in the example down below, when something kind of flowy like this moves throughout the air, it doesn't just go boop, 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 boop. It doesn't go like that. That's no fun. It kind of like is moved by the air, and it kind of billows out at the end. And so something else you can kind of pay attention is if you want to make a ghost floating up and down like we're going to today, then you can see that as it kind of moves down, it like gets filled up with air as it moves down. And then when it goes up, it gets a little bit skinnier, and then it fills up with air as it floats down. So go ahead and open up FlipaClip on your device, so either your smartphone or your tablet here, and I will go through the FlipaClip software and we will animate a little ghost together. And be sure to send us anything that you make. We'd love to see it. We'd love to show it off in the space here. We have a cute little gallery. But yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so after you open FlipaClip, you should see, if you've created some projects already, you'll see like I have 3 separate ghost animation projects that I used when I was making them for the last workshop. They're all messy, very hastily done, but that's okay because we're just having fun here. Your first draft is always going to be messy, so definitely don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just try to have fun with it. But in any case, in order to start a new project, you're going to want to go to the little plus sign there. You're going to name your animation. I'll go Ghost 4 because this is the 4th ghost that I'm making. Click done, and then you're able to choose a different background if you would like. I'm just gonna keep it as the kind of white paper, that sort of thing. I think it looks neat. And then in terms of canvas size, I'm just going to go with a little Instagram 1x1. That way it's just nice, small and square, a really good place to just play around in. And I'm gonna go back. Frames per second. So the more frames per second, the faster your animation is going to move. The less frames per second, the slower it's going to move. And we can change that as we go, and it'll show you how fast your animation will move. But in any case, I'm just going to drop it down to like 8. 8 seems like an okay number to start with for now. So that means that in order to create 1 second of video, then you're going to have 8 frames in there. And if you end up doing a lot less, that is totally okay. You can always just lower your frames. So now let's go ahead and create project. Here is what the app looks like. We have our pen here, we have our eraser tool here. We're going to use the lasso tool a lot, and we have a paint bucket to fill in if you would like to do that, and then we also have text. So we're going to start out by just having our pen tool. If you click that, you can make it larger or smaller. So let's just go with 10. 10 seems good. Then we're going to go back. And then you're going to just start by drawing your first frame, which is just going to be a simple ghost. If that is what you would like to do, you can draw just your first frame, whatever. But again, it doesn't have to be super great. So we're just going to, oh, see, and I know I said it doesn't have to be great, but I really don't like that line. So I'm just going to click the undo button up there at the top. That's right here. And in any case, let's draw our little ghost. We've got a little ghost right here. Lovely. I'm gonna give him a couple of eyeballs. Adorable. Sweet. Okay, so we have our first frame. Excellent job. So now, since we're going to do a ghost floating up and down, we're going to go ahead and click that lasso tool right here, highlighted in pink. And we are going to select our entire ghost all the way around. Oh, I got ahead of myself. We're going to exit out of that by just clicking off of it. In any case, so we're going to go down here, click this little button, and then we are going to click copy. So we're going to copy this frame. So once I've clicked that, you'll see that it adds a couple other options. And this is if you want to paste the frame in the next frame, or if you want to paste it in the previous frame. In this case, we're going to paste it in the next frame. Cool. So it's pasted. We've got 2 of the exact same little ghosties here. And now we're going to use our select tool. Select all the way around. It's called the lasso selection. Select all the way around our ghost. And then since our ghost is going to be floating up, we are going to go move it up a little bit. And then something that you might see is there's like a sort of faint outline of what the previous frame looks like. And that just makes it a lot easier for you to see where your animation has been and where you're going to move it next. And so that layer below, it's called onion skinning, when you can see the layer below. And that's sort of kind of really transparent paper that animators or architects use. Yeah, and it just makes the whole process a lot easier. Okay, so the next step is, I know this is going to be a little bit painful, it is every time, but you're going to go to the eraser tool, and on this frame, you're going to erase the lower half of your ghost. Because as I said before, as the ghost moves up, it's moving through the air, and so it gets a little bit skinnier at the bottom. And so we are going to boop, boop, boop. Erase this lower half. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. going to make it just a little bit skinnier. Cool. So we did that. And then what we're gonna do is do the same kind of step that we did last time. Copy this frame, and then we are going to go ahead and paste it into the next frame. Done. And then we're gonna repeat it all again. We're gonna get our selection tool, lasso all the way around our ghost. Move them up a little bit. And then erase. You can either make it even skinnier if you want, or you can just kind of leave it as is. And then I'd say that this is our ghost reaching the height of its floating, or we can actually even add another if you want. Again, it's all just like, you can just play around with it. It's super fun. But we're going to repeat, copy the frame, paste it in the next frame, and then our ghost is going to, we're going to select them, move them down a little bit. And since our ghost is moving down, that means its sheets are kind of filling up with air, so we're going to erase the bottom half of our ghost. Sort of make it kind of billow out a little bit. Sweet. And then we are going to go ahead and copy it, paste it in the next one, select our ghost, move it down a little bit more, and then erase the bottom. Sweet. And now let's see what our ghost animation looks like if we press play. That's super cute. It's lagging a little bit on my screen because I'm screen sharing, but it is actually pretty quick. But in any case, I was just interrupted by an ad from my screen mirroring software. It's okay. In order to make your ghost up here even more lively than it already is, bouncing up and down on your screen, you can go ahead and go to your second frame or your third frame, and you can erase its eyeballs, and then redraw them kind of where they were, but closed. That way it looks like it's blinking. Sweet. Isn't that lovely? Cool. So I hope that you've learned something, or that you just enjoyed having fun making a little animation, that you keep at it. Again, totally send us any little GIFs or videos that you do create. I'll show you how to export that right now. You're going to want to go to the triple dots in the upper right hand corner. We're going to, if you want to adjust your frame rate, you can go to project settings, frames per second. If I want to make my ghost even faster, I'll do 10. If I want to make it slower, then you do like 5 or something like that. Let's see what it's like with 10, and then you can press play and see if you like it. And then again, okay, so in order to export it though, you go to your triple dots. Then you go ahead and you click Make Movie. And then you have your name, you have your output size, which is the Instagram 1x1 square, and then you have your format. In order to export it as a video, you keep it as MP4. That's great. In order to make a GIF, you click GIF. And then a GIF is, I mean, you've probably seen a GIF, but it's when something, it's like an image that loops forever. And you can also export it as a PNG sequence if you upgrade to Pro, I guess, but you probably don't want to do that anyways, because a PNG sequence is just, it exports each frame as a separate image, because a video is made up of frames, and frames are still images, so there you go. But in any case, let's export it as an MP4, because that's just a classic video, it's the easiest to send. But yeah, so in order to save it, you can either save it to your photos, or you can send it to people in your contact lists if you're on your phone. But yeah, so let's just saved it to my photos. It's already in my device, and now I can watch my little animation and send it to whoever I want. So I had a lot of fun doing this. It's always so much fun. And definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. Reach out to us if you want to register for our Gathered Town and join us in hanging out in this delightful space that we've built for you. But yeah, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming.